What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the NVM channel. Yes, another M140i video. Yep, a 6-speed manual, a real driver's M140. So we're not going to bore you with the facts of the 520R because you're probably all aware now, but the owner of this, Michael, is 68 years old and he wants a bit of fun in his rear-wheel drive, limited slip differential equipped M140i. So we are going to give him the stage 3 treatment. It has been tuned somewhere else before, so we're going to have a good dive into the ECU, give it a full reset, BMW update, and also take off the hardware and inspect it before we carry on. But it looks like a busy day today, mate. So Mike's car is on the ramp now. Let's see how quickly we can get that turbo out. We do these 520R conversions on a regular basis. Head over to the online shop. I'll leave a link below for the 520R because they are usually in stock, but they fly off the shelf. So you miss it, you miss out. It's funny because every single B58 turbo that we take out tells a different story. This one, the turbine itself has a bit of movement in and out, and the housing, exhaust housing, is covered in a bit of an oil mist. You can tell by the colour of the actual clippings as well that this was overspan. But as I said before, it's not on my tune, so they probably targeted all the boost to get none of the power. Time to get tuning. So final results for Mike's 6-speed manual M140. It has got the upgraded 550i clutch and flywheel, so it can withstand the torque while keeping that clutch pedal nice and light. But before I tell you that, there's a nice 540i just come in for a full Remus exhaust. Take a listen. That sounds absolutely mad, almost like an M5. It is an NVM Stage 3 car with a 520R as well. But yes, this car, 524 brake horsepower, 773 Newton meters of torque, all of that power through the rear wheels via 6-speed manual with a limited slip diff. It's going to be a handful. Now the reason I mention Michael's age is because I actually commend him. At 68 years old, he is modifying a rear-wheel drive 6-speed manual to stage 3 power levels. That's absolutely amazing. If at the age of 68 I'm still modifying cars, I hope you guys would be proud of me too. So before we can drop off the M140i, we've got the Seat Leon Cupra 290. It has been in with us before. Full stage 2 parts, intercooler, turbo back exhaust and intake. Although we've got to check it up on the dyno and make any adjustments necessary. So when utilising a L380 turbocharger, although it's the same as the original IS38, the wastegate positioning can be slightly off, so we've got to run it up on the dyno, check it on the previous calibration and make any adjustments necessary. So every time we make a calibration change to the gearbox, we do have to reset the adaptations. There is a specific order for this, so those of you at home trying to do adaptation resets on your car, please don't do it because you can actually reverse the cycle into which you're supposed to do. Next up today, we've got Jarhead's 440i NVM Stage 2 car in for some stopping power. So it is an M Performance car with the MPPSK kit on there. It has got the larger front brake calipers and discs. So he's gone for F2000 front discs and Strada pads with the trusty RBF 660 brake fluid. Now this brake fluid is optimal for heavy duty driving, track days, fast road, whatever it is. It won't boil, it won't cause water to be ingressed in your lines and stuff. So the Tarox brake discs are absolutely amazing, milled to perfection. With the F2000 pattern, it cuts the pads perfectly. On track, these can go back to back through so many laps and still not cause any fade, even with Strada pads. So yeah, make sure you guys give us a call for all your Tarox brakes. Now, whilst the brakes are being fitted to that 4 Series, we have a 435D in for some custom tuning. It has got stage 2 hardware on there, so we are going to tune the ECU and gearbox to suit. These are absolute wolf in sheep's clothing, especially when it comes in a 335D or even a Touring. But yeah, I think these are real rivals to the B58 to a certain degree. And then obviously hybrid turbo 520R, they do surpass it. But yeah, let's get this strapped down, tuned up and see what we can achieve. So now we're strapped down to the dyno. I'm just going to turn off a couple of switches so that we can get a good standard bass run. What we normally do on these is start the tuning straight away by turning off the switches, increasing the boost. But I want to get bass runners to see where it's at. The car sounded a bit loud, turbocharger was a bit noisy. So I just want to make sure it's a healthy car before we continue. When I'm talking switches, I'm on about the exhaust modifications on here, the intake modifications on here, and also the intercooler. So with all of these switches off, we can do a full clean sweep. So that's good to see. 309 brake horsepower, 631 Nm of torque. These cars love to make a bit of a boost on the changeover from the high pressure turbo to the low pressure turbo, but it seems to be okay and it's handling it fine. First thing we're going to do is load on a XHP Stage 3 with our custom calibration that gives maximum line pressure, good RPM shifting as well to maximize the power and the torque curve from this car. And once we've done that, we can start our calibration on the engine ECU. We start off with just the low pressure turbocharger, then we'll work on the high pressure turbocharger to make sure torque control is good and torque output from the ECU matches that of the gearbox. Yes, the eagle eye viewers would say, why is it in rear wheel drive when it's X drive? This is how we tune, this is how we calibrate, so we don't put any stress on the transfer case or the front differential. They aren't made to run 4-wheel drive permanently for more than like 10-15 seconds at a time to maintain that slip before it gives it grip again, hence why we tune this way. Also, we don't have a 4-wheel drive dyno, but that isn't the real reason. Even if we did have the 4-wheel drive dyno, we'd always put the BMW X drives in rear-wheel drive to get consistency and less risk of gearbox and drivetrain issues. Well, that's really good to see, almost 800 Newton meters currently. There's a few tables that we changed regards to the wastegate and the actual fuel pressure as well, which makes a massive difference to top end. So we'll continue and see what we can do. So final results on this 435D, 401 brake horsepower, 811 Newton meters of torque. Absolute savage. ECU and gearbox mapped accordingly to the mods that are on the vehicle. It is technically for off-road use, so the customer will have to pick it up on a tow truck because they're not allowed to drive it on the road apparently these days. Now it is hard work getting to the 400 brake horsepower mark, specifically on the stock exhaust hardware, simply because the EGT limiters within the ECU protect it. Those tuners who are turning off these EGT limits without making according modifications to the exhaust will end up causing turbo failure or fires. So back to the 440i, the brakes are now fitted, the beautiful F2000 brake discs with Strada pads, which is the street going fast road pad, although these are more than capable on the road. The F2000 on these are 370mm in diameter, because this has got the M Sport package from factory, and it's 345 at the rear. The rears actually have a different drum size internal for the rear handbrake brake chute as well. But yeah, we've got to bed this in, we've got to road test that. It's been a busy day, hasn't it? Oh, the sun is setting. Busy day. But yeah, we have fresh brakes, so we've got to be careful. Listen out for any sort of noises. Everything's been talked to spec. Every nook and cranny has been cleaned, not just plonked over. That's why we take a bit more time when doing brakes and maintenance. Generally, we tend to spend that extra hour or so just to make sure that everything's fitted as it should be. But yeah, there is a heavy braking bedding in procedure that I need to do, mate. Anyway, we have to do an emergency stop to deglaze these brake discs. You're gonna hold the steering wheel straight, slowly but progressively hit the brakes, and that basically deglazes any sort of material that's on the pads to protect it from getting porous in transit. And then we keep it moving so that the brake discs don't overheat and they don't warp. The biggest issue with brakes are people hammering them and then not letting them cool down in the way they're designed to be cooled down, and kind of turning the car off. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can't get to a set of traffic lights and put the handbrake on after an emergency stop. You'll warp it. You can't hold on the brakes. Use the park button. Brakes are deactivated. Come to a rolling stop. Let things roll down. Every time someone drops a car off, they say, oh, you're going to take it down to the NVM strip. I think we should change the road. And there's a sign over there. Should we just put massive NVM? The NVM U-turn. Oh, it's a bit lively, this. So the main thing is no vibrations, no wobbles, and we're giving time in between all of the braking sessions for it to cool down by rotating and sucking in air through its veins. It's been a long and busy day today. It is golden hour. We are going to head off home. Hope everyone enjoyed today's vlog. Leave a comment below as to what your favourite car was today, and hit that subscribe button, because we've got a brand new project coming to the channel.
Don't matter if you cars for the road or tracks. Mexico on the lanes, or Dunnington doing up laps. Car man, I got maps, doing up maps. Maximum power, cars get gapped. They got tuners, we got tuners, but they're tuners a load of. Man got the map, what kind of map? Best boat map, fastest lap. Zoom in past, don't watch how big mad map. 3 maps, take a passenger seat, watch a man collapse. Foot to the floor, rev to the max. See him come through like axe. All you see is flames, all you hear is bullets and bats. He's doing it well, he's doing it right, and they can't do it like man. NV Motorsport, it's in the game. Gang.